for a spinner right at the top when the fielders are inside the circle. Only 2 allowed side out. And of course, the ball is nice and crisp. Here we go, start of the 4th game. Straight away, it's a boundary. Very ordinary ball to start, and a boundary scored.
Aggressive intent shown by Lendl Simmons and the West Indies, putting pressure on Aiden Markram. For the 2nd time, opens the bowling for South Africa. A continuation of what we've seen at this phase of the innings from both teams have been relatively good. They average around 50 plus in those first 6 overs.
Yeah, I'm not totally convinced with this. I know it's just 1 ball into it. I think that Markram might be better used after the main spinner, for example. Someone like a George Linder, who's used to doing it at the top, bowls an over or 2. As Urifa Jr. is standing the business end. I think Markram, as that one's hammered away for a boundary, might be a better use to sneak 1 or 2 in as they go along in the middle overs.
And he's cut that harder than an angry butcher. Lendl Simmons, early in the game, getting into stride. Setting an aggressive tone with the bat for the West Indies.
Right, so now Markram can't afford to give away another boundary. They can't afford to get something like, dare I say it, 15 runs off the first over. I think they might get close to that. That's hammered away for 6. Temba Bavuma often talks about plan A, plan B, and plan C.
And it's see you later with that delivery. Aiden Markram straying down the leg side. Immediate pressure with the stroke play from Simmons.
Start off with an over like this, with these sort of deliveries, and suddenly a side has bolted. They're out of the gates very quickly indeed. And they don't stop from that stage. Once they've got runs in the 1st or 2nd over, they're away. Suddenly they're thinking about, okay, we can get 70 in this batting power play. There's a fielder out there now, deep backward square for a, dare I say it, a bad ball.
Patrick Gustad, umpire from Jamaica.
The ball is now wet as well because it's travelled on this wet outfield. And that's hard down the ground for 6. So that plan has definitely not worked. That is a really good start from the West Indies. They've got 20 off the first over. Any form of the game, whether it's a test match or the 50-over game or the T20 game, the guys who start at the top with the ball have got to set a tone.
And it's the most runs scored by West Indies in T20 internationals in the first over of a match. 19 the previous highest, now 20. All off the bat of Lendl Simmons.
Well, of course he wasn't going to give any strike to his partner. Hitting in even numbers. Now Ngidi. He himself has had his problems. Certainly got some big tap in the first 2 games. Oh, it's a nice shot in the covers. No run.
Two 4s, 2 6s. Lendl Simmons wasting no time. Good thing about that, he kept his options open. He was only not looking to hit the leg, through off and straight down the ground as well.
First 3 games in this series that Ngidi played, and he's been going at 12 and over. Bang! That has disappeared as well. That is a magnificent shot.
Well, Well, he hits sixes for a living, Evan Lewis. And that's his natural style of batting, more so in T20 cricket. Doesn't think about it too much. He has that typically aggressive approach to batting, despite the format of the game he's playing. There again, goes all the way for 6.
Eight balls and they've got 26 runs. That is some start.
Lewis has gotten off the mark in this series with a 6 in 3 out of his 4 innings. Look about a trend.
Straight. Hard to David Miller. No run. Suddenly gone a little bit darker. Let's hope these storms that are going to be, or the rain I should say, that is going to be coming in, just move through quickly. I was saying earlier that we've got Tropical Storm Elsa on our doorstep here in Grenada. Supposed to hit hard here tomorrow, so these are bands that are coming in at the moment. Oh, it's a beautiful shot. There is protection. 2 men out. Interesting, one long off and one in sweeping on the covers.
Both teams have not taken many wickets in the power play phase of the innings. Only 5 wickets to fall across both teams in the power plays. And of the 5, 4 going to seamers. So that's why I'm a little bit concerned that South Africa has again opted with Aiden Markram to open the bowling and not a seam bowler, which I think is the way to go in the power plays.
I think in an important game like this, they win today, they win the series. An important game like this, I tend to agree there. However, I would have gone for George Linder, who is used to bowling initial overs and did very well against Pakistan doing that. Cross-seam delivery, that one from Ngidi. I also then perhaps would have gone for not Ngidi, someone who's been bowling better. So Linder and a seamer who's going to fire things up, maybe a Norkia at the start, just to try and get the trend on spot at the beginning of the innings. It's nicely bowled. He's come back pretty well actually in the end, but still as 27 on the board after 2. So Gale at 3 makes a difference. Hetmeyer gets another run. Gale is, he's got to be the best T20 player on the planet, really, Chris Gale. Look at the work that he's done. He's just been extraordinary throughout his career. Still got a lot to offer for the West Indies. And Norkia now, so we've got the 1 over spells in play. Slower delivery and a wicket. There it is. Norkia into the attack and he strikes straight away.
Pace doing the business for South Africa, an early wicket for them. A surprise wicket of Evan Lewis. I've just been caught in 2 minds here as to whether to be defensive or follow through with the stroke at the last minute. Just jumped out of the swing and presented a simple catch for Aiden Markram. Lewis goes for 7, 27 for 1.
This is going to be a wonderful little challenge, a nice little head-to-head. Chris Gale 64 T20 international games, almost 1,700 runs, 4 away from that. Strike rate of 141. What a little tussle this is going to be. Now, this was a cross-seam ball. Surely it hit the seam and bounced extra. I think that was it wasn't a slower ball. Hit the seam hard on the pitch and bounced more than what Lewis anticipated, and that's why he was surprised when it suddenly bunted up and got caught at mid-on. It's a lovely shot to get going, using the pace of Nortje and just easing that through the covers.
He'll also take that stroke in a test match with wide clothes all along the ground. Man who's played over 100 test matches. Chris Gayle. Oozing class with his first stroke. Vintage Chris Gayle off the mark with a boundary.
I just love all the on his bat. He's got the boss on the front of his bat. On the back, what's he got on the? I think he's got something else on the other side of the bat. What's he got, Mr. Universe? Oh, what's that? Six machine. Yep. What's he got? Universe bosses there as well. There's Gale Force on the wheels.
Such a humble man, Chris Gayle.
And he's playing in his 427th T20 game. Six machine, you got to love that one.
And I'm really only kidding, because he deserves all the plaudits, especially in this format of the game. 2 T20 international centuries to his name, 22 centuries overall in T20 cricket. Strike rate of over 140. Ultimate T20 batsman. Here he is, universe boss.
Past the inside edge that time from Nortje. Yeah, you've got to have these sort of characters in the T20 game. In fact, I think in any sport, to be honest. There's no doubt that sport, to a certain extent, is missing characters rather than the ones you saw in yesteryear.
He's such a congenial character off the field. Very infectious, makes everyone laugh. That's the nature of the man. If you had a chance to interact with him, great bloke.
He's never, ever too far away from a chuckle himself. Oh, that's unusual. Quick single. He retains the strike. 32 for 1. It's quite interesting these days the way that Chris Gayle goes about things when he first starts an innings. He's at a lovely 4 to get going. Normally just pushes the ball around a little bit. We don't often see this at the start of an innings or throughout an innings. Pretty keen to get back on strike and keep getting bat on ball. Another change in the bowling. It's Ngidi with 1 over for 7. Now it's Rabada into the lineup. Another little nice challenge. A little head-to-head between these two now, Rabada and Gayle.
Agisa Rabada himself, someone who's risen quite quickly in stature for South Africa with the ball across formats. This goes about the business of taking wickets with such ease and humility.
Straight to Shamsi. He's had a blinder of a series so far. To Braid Shamsi. I bet he can't wait to get the ball in his hand.
And Mike, I was making the point of the spinners being used in the power play overs. are not agreeing with that because of how well they've done in the middle phase of the innings. This man, Tabraiz Shamsi, he's been exceptional in terms of economy and ability to take wickets.
Now that's a wicket. It is. Rabada strikes. So he's got the last laugh there. There's Chris Gayle on his way. That is a huge wicket for South Africa. He can be so dangerous.
You can't keep Rabada out of the game. Always accurate, in control. He knows exactly what to do against particular players. He goes full and wide to Chris Gayle. Doesn't have the reach on that occasion. It just finds the outside edge. The Universe boss has to go for 5. 32 for 1.
I think the way the batting's been going at the start of these games, this start, that 20 runs off the first over, has almost been negated now with the loss of those 2 wickets. Hetmeyer, I should say, is now in the middle. There's the thick outside edge, well taken by Quinton de Kock. So a couple of key players gone, Lewis and Gayle. Paran due next, then Pollard, and then Russell. Safely home.
Two wickets already for South Africa. In modern T20 cricket, you'll consider that acceptable for a batting team that is striking at 9 runs per over. Teams generally get to that 50 marker or above after 6 overs. So West Indies will still be looking at that type of target in terms of runs.
Short delivery. I know there might be some people are a little bit bemused the fact that South Africa are unchanged with the lineup today. They would have thought that maybe to give some other guys a little bit of a run. The bottom edge onto the thigh pad. But in an interview I did with Temba Bavuma earlier, before the T20 series got underway, he said that it was really important to win this series. And also important then to sort of look at the various options and give guys a run, knowing that they expect 15 games before the World Cup gets underway. I guess the question's got to be asked, how much will they get out of the island games? I guess they'll get enough. His main focus is to win, and Mark Boucher, of course, is the selector at the moment in consultation. 35 for 2. Two wickets for 8 runs. That's the last 2 overs from Nortje and Rabada. So good work from Rabada in that last over. Nortje to continue.
South Africa since 2018 would have won only 4 T20 international series until now. And those 4 series would have been consecutively, and that's during the year 2018-2019, so haven't been close to a win in a T20 series for a while.
December 2019 when Mark Boucher took over coach. Slower ball. Nicely bowled by Nortje. A little bit slower anyway. Oh no, quite a bit slower. 117 k's per hour.
Back of the arm, slow ball. I make that point about they being bereft of a win in a series to just reinforce how important this game is also for South Africa. Win today, you win the series.
Oh, he's hammered that for 6. That is a very good shot. Back to his standard pace, that delivery, and that smacked.
Pump to leg, Lendl Simmons. Usually he makes room to hit through the offside, but because of the angle of the delivery, just opens the front foot and aims over that long on region.
Really good run rate. It's just a shade under 9.5. That's where they're going at the moment. So they're out of the blocks quickly, as they were with that first over. Again, we see the breeze picking up. Tropical storm Elsa just reminding us she's not far away.
Strong wind at the ground. I guess for the West Indies, it's not only about hitting boundaries. They've got to find someone who can also just provide a bit of stability throughout the innings amongst these power players. That's been key when the West Indies have previously won World Cups. You think of the role of a Marlon Samuels, of a Dinesh Ramdin, who did provide great support to the power play that we've seen from the likes of Simmons, Andre Russell, Karen Pollard. Just having that role clarity is very important for T20 success.
Where's Larry Gomes? I used to love him in the test matches. Oh, that's a good shot. That is a beautiful shot. Opened the blade perfectly and smashed that away for 4 runs to finish the over. In the end, it's a good one, 11 from it, 46 for 2.
Run rate currently just over 9 to the over, and what a way to finish the previous over by Simmons. Glorious shot through the offside. Ngidi back into the attack for another spell. I just feel like Simmons is a real important part of this lineup at the moment. How long will he last? How many runs can he put on the board? If he keeps going like this, it's going to be wonderful to watch. And that's all fine with Nortje, who's over, went for 11. It was there to drive, and he did it beautifully. Good execution. Making some room. And that's flown over the boundary for another 6. 50 up. A lot of room for himself, exposed all of the stumps, but it didn't matter because he seems to be seeing the ball very well. Being up early. It's great to see the smiles in the crowd. Loyal supporters for both teams. down the leg side. And easily put away by Simmons. Run rate back past 10 and over. Again, Ngidi under pressure, not for the first time in the series.
Just directing this one down the leg and easily flicked away by Simmons.
Yeah, Compol there with the fine leg up. Now, this rate, it's over 200 for the West Indies. Oh dear, I don't think he quite picked that up. He had to adjust very late with that one from Ngidi.
But it's good recovery from West Indies here after losing 2 wickets. Still being able to achieve 57 in the power play with 2 balls to go still.
This ball 119 kilometers an hour. Went for a slower ball bouncer. Not a bad adjustment from Ngidi's point of view, but he's already gone for 11 in the over. So a little change in the field as they hit some protection on the cover boundary on the offside. Bad at all from Lungi Ngidi. He's just struggled with his form. They tried him opening the bowling today. Now they brought him back for another one. So that's 2 overs from Ngidi within the power play, which is an interesting decision in itself because you can only have 2 fielders outside of that inner ring. So it's a very interesting decision by South Africa to do that. Not going to be bowling too much then, probably at the death. Trying to find ways to maximize his potential. Ends the power play 57 for 2. Well, it's been a good recovery because a couple of wickets lost. Big wicket of Lewis, who's been in form. And, of course, Chris Gale is a big player for the West Indies. But Simmons has been superb. A really good recovery in the end in this power play because it seemed to start with a bang, especially off the bats of Evan Lewis and Simmons in the beginning. Simmons scored beautifully down the ground. Lewis, through the series, has hit a few big ones straight down the ground and then lost his wicket to Heinrich Nokia. Just that bit of extra bounce from the cross-seam delivery resulted in his wicket. Chris Gale edged it through to the keeper. But Simmons has continued. Good fight back from him, and he's kept the innings together. It's not a bad power play at all for the West Indies.
And this is the area that West Indies would be aware of, just having a batsman bat throughout after the power play overs. Anchoring that innings is going to be important for them.
So George Linder now. First over after the power play is done. Don't think he would have been in this position too often in his T20 international career. Very often he's bowled either the first over or the second over in T20 international. So a little bit of a different role now for him today, which makes this very interesting for him. He's had a really good start to his T20 international career and bowls at very tough times with that newer ball in the power play. And he's been very successful so far. Well, we've spoken about the West Indies and their rotation of strike within the middle overs, in particular after 7. Have a look at that. That's quite a big difference. The percentage of runs scored in boundaries this series. West Indies well ahead of South Africa.
Yeah, one would think that with that percentage of boundary hitting, they'd be on top of the series. But unfortunately, they're not, which shows that boundary hitting is not all.
West Indies have certainly had a lot more sixes in particular than South Africa. Oh! Got to just be a little careful there. That one really sort of fired in by Linda. Fastest one of the over, 88 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, this area will be important for West Indies. 3-dot balls would build pressure, which would mean that they're going to want to have to try a big shot.
It's been a really good innings by Simmons in a lot of ways because he's been under pressure. But as we're talking about that boundary percentage, Simmons has hit only one single in this innings. The rest has been in boundaries. And while that's an asset to have, imagine where he would be if there was actually a rotation of strike. A couple of ones, some twos. Difficult to get threes, of course. George Linda in a slightly different role today, and not a bad start. 58 for 2. Well, that excellent over from George Linda has brought down that projected score quite a bit. Last over just going for 1. And the projected score now at this rate is 166. So now South Africa going to brace Shamsi, who's had a superb series. He's been great to watch. He's really enjoyed the wickets as well. Said he was expecting something from these West Indian wickets, and he's got it. He's used the conditions well. This is a good tester of the West Indies and this middle period. Can they adapt?
At least what we've seen from Hetmyer is a lot of positivity. He's been pushing around. We all know that he can add just as much flavor as Simmons with boundary hitting, but he's chosen to take that tempered role of just working in it around 6 off 6.
We talk about batting partnerships obviously quite a lot. Bowling partnerships are important too, and Tabraiz Shamsi and George Linda have bowled very well together through their careers, and certainly through the series as well. From a batting perspective, it's also important to try and find your matchups within those partnerships so the batters complement each other. Do you think Lendl Simmons and Shimron Hetmyer can complement each other?
Well, they're both quick runners between the wickets, as well as some of the other players. So I think they are, and it's going to be tested here.
I know the captain, Pollard, did ask that Shimron Hetmyer and the likes, just at least somebody must anchor the innings. Somebody must bat through, bat a lot of the overs. So far from what we've seen, maybe that's what his intent is today. Got to find some singles, some gaps as well. Oh, that's superb. Wonderful from Shamsi. There's high pressure at the moment.
Now, he did mention in his interview about tactics and execution, but he has to try not to get complacent and try to push for what isn't there. Just play what he sees and play what comes to him.
This is an excellent passage of play for the Proteas. Again, he's definitely getting some turn. He's getting a bit of bounce as well. Now this is asking a lot of questions of Hetmyer. Has he got the right answers? There's a lot of overs still to go. He can still set a good foundation within this middle period for the back end. Different territory now, setting a target. Excellent from Shamsi, off his own bowling. Means another dot ball, just 2 singles off the over. The umpires just want to have a little look at this to make sure.
Thank you. TV umpire to director. We have an umpire's review for a run out at the striker's end. Can you give me your best side on shot, please? Bats grounded beyond the crease. Thank you, I'm satisfied, ready to make my decision to the big screen. My decision is not out. I repeat, not out.
Just a confirmation, not out. And South Africa have restricted West Indies to 60 for 2. George Linder is going to continue just a single off his first over. What can Simmons do to turn this around? Got to find ways to work the ball around. He's got to get the bowler off his line and length.
Oh, this is just now 4 runs that have come off the last 2.1 overs between spinners. It is going to be a worry, but it also is an opportunity to just rotate the strike, just play what is being seen. South Africa has pulled out a lot of sweep shots, a lot of improvised shots, rather than trying to go hard at it. West Indies can take a page out of that chapter, but will they?
Simmons obviously opening the batting with Evan Lewis. They had a bright start. Not a bad power play at all, even though they lost a couple of wickets. Look at that. At first over, 20 runs off of it. But then they lost a couple of wickets.
Yes, coach.
Things started to slow down quite a bit, and the Proteas came back well. It was a decent little recovery as well after those 2 wickets, but since then, it's just stalled. The innings is completely stalled for the West Indies. They're now going at 7.29. And they're not timing the ball either, and still intent on going for the big boundaries. Early call. That's good. It needs to happen. More of that. A lot more of that needs to happen.
When we look at the field, Natalie, a lot of fielders are at the edge of the circle because they're just sitting back to wait on West Indies, who are going to power to try to hit, which means the ball is going to come through faster to them. There's a lot of space within the circle.
Oh, what a take behind the stumps. That is superb. A full-blooded swipe at it. And Quinton de Kock has taken a wonderful take behind the stumps. Staying nice and low to take it. And that pressure has mounted on the West Indies.
Just an under edge. Quinton de Kock does very well to hold on to this one. And again, spinners. George Linder has made that breakthrough from this partnership. Shamron Hetmyer goes for 7. West Indies 63 for 3.
Well, Lendl Simmons is trying to hold this innings together, and Nicholas Pooran is joining him to try and see if they can turn the situation around. The vice captain now has to lead from the middle. This is a wonderful take. Bottom edge stayed as low as possible. So easy to stand up quickly in this situation. George Linder smart and bowling it a bit wider. Again, West Indies batter intent on trying to hit the big boundaries. They've had their struggles against spin in the series, the West Indies. They're striking at well under 120 against the spinners. And South Africa know that, and that's why they're using it well. And this is a concern for the West Indies. They've still got a lot of batting to come. Fabian Allen has shown us how good he is with the bat.
Questions are going to be asked of that middle order.
And they, even with that, taking a single, no intent to even possibly push for the second, put the fielders under pressure is another way you can keep rotating the strike. Got to put the South African fielders under a lot more pressure. Nicholas Pooran is also one that was identified as someone who could possibly bat through the innings. Oh dear, it's like they've changed cities completely. Started in the Manhattan and now we've moved out. We've gone to some rural farm area.
South Africa has been quite disciplined, Natalie. Just no extras so far.
Yeah, they'll be very happy about that. Very, very happy about that. South Africa have shown really good discipline with the ball in general. Yes, there's issues. That sixth bowler is a problem. Lungengiri hasn't been in the form that they would like him to be in. But they've made ways of working around it. A lot to do with the leadership of Themba Bavuma as well in the field.
Yeah, he's made some questionable changes. Themba Bavuma, a lot of persons may have questioned why is he going with the same team into the fourth T20, but he's backed his players, he's backed the talent in which they have, and they've delivered most importantly.
Big appeal, big appeal. Quinton de Kock was celebrating before the finger went up. He thought this was gone. He thought he was well in front. A little bit of a chat. Themba Bavuma is asking Quinton de Kock. Looks like they're going to leave this one alone. Well, time's out now. Won't be able to go upstairs. Quinton de Kock looked really convinced with this one. But that's definitely outside the line, spinning away from that off stump. We've seen the turn already through this game. The advantage of these spinners is also they get through their overs really quickly. Puts West Indies under more pressure. 10 overs gone, 67 for 3.
Only 10 runs in the last 4 overs. That was the appeal. Confirmation that it would have been missing the stumps. I did mention when Mike Hazeman was on with me that spin has proven to be very effective through the middle overs. Once again, Linda Shamsi being exceptional with the ball in terms of economy. After a flyer from Lendl Simmons in the power play overs, he's just gone limp with his run scoring. Good afternoon, Samuel Badri.
Good afternoon, Darren. Good afternoon to all our viewers. Explosive start once again in the power play overs, and thereafter not much to write home about from the West Indian batsmen. And you mentioned the effect of spin against this opposition in particular. It has proven to be the Achilles heel of the West Indies team in that series in March earlier this year against the Sri Lankans. Wanendu Hasaranga, Sandakan, Akila Dhananjaya were very, very effective. West Indies did win that series 2-1, but again, Shamsi and George Linda just exploiting that weakness.
Two runs from the over so far. In the previous matches, 18 wickets fell. We're in the middle overs, over number 7 to over number 15. 10 to spin, 8 to seam. That's instructive for any captain. This looks good, adjacent. The dreaded finger goes up. Lendl Simmons departs.
He doesn't even bother to review it. Lendl Simmons, he knows that he's gone, that it's plumb. Feeling the frustration after a powerful start, just fell away through the middle. And the spinners again doing the job for South Africa. Shamsi previously, Linda in the middle of a really good bowling spell and picks up another. West Indies lose another. Simmons goes for 47, 70 for 4.
Commanding figure of the West Indies captain, Karen Pollard, comes to the crease. Formidable player in T20 cricket. Been amongst the runs in this series. 2 innings before, just 2 runs. Seeing across the line of a straight delivery, Lendl Simmons looked at sea when facing the spinners.
This much vaunted West Indies batting lineup showing lots of chinks in the armory, but the bowling of the South Africans, contributions from different players. Linda today stands out, 2 for 7 with 1 delivery left in his 3rd over.
Off the mark, Karen Pollard. And a successful over for South Africa. Linda picking up his 100th T20 wicket, 71 for 4. Doesn't look good in terms of projected scores for the West Indies. Since the power play, remember they were 57 for 2.
Thank you.
Only 14 runs scored beyond that. No boundaries for the West Indies. 100 wickets for George Linda. Significant landmark for the left-arm spinner. Proving to be effective again for South Africa with the ball.
West Indies, their captain and vice captain out in the middle, Pollard and Puran. They will have to do a repair job after that brilliant start. 57 for 2, now 71 for 4. These 2 players haven't been in the best of form as well. South Africa have recalled Kagiso Rabada, perhaps thinking 1 more wicket here and really break the back of this West Indian batting lineup. Pollard, with all of his experience, the most capped T20 player in the world, will understand and recognize that this over is crucial in terms of not losing another wicket.
Pollard has to balance that with the fact that the last 5 overs that the West Indies as a team has faced, they only produced 14 runs and they lost 2 wickets. So in T20 cricket, you have no chance of making up overs, and you have little chance of recovering because of the short duration of the innings, the match itself. 4 wickets already, those dots. And I guess for the West Indies as well, both these two, Pollard and Pooran, can't play in the same style. One still has to look for the boundaries to make sure that the scoring rate is above average. That's what I spoke about earlier. This team has to identify at least 2 players who can squat, run a ball, and bat amongst all these powerful boundary hitters. That to me is the right recipe.
And something that we've seen from this batting team, a one-dimensional approach. Most of the players playing in a similar manner, a boundary hitting manner, and not finding that balance between boundary hitting, strike rotation, building partnerships.
Flipped away. Nicely picked up, just got inside the line of this one and helped it on its way. It was a quick delivery.
Good short delivery from Rabada. Nicholas Pooran just got enough bat on it and helped it on its way. That angle from around the wicket. He played that quite well in the end. He gets it fine enough to get that boundary and to get his account running in terms of boundaries, his first. And some support in the stadium here for the West Indies.
Change in the field. Third man comes into the circle. There is a deep mid-wicket now. Quick single and a much better over for the West Indies. 8 runs coming from it. 79 for 4. Houses in the hills. Nice vantage point here in Grenada. Not a good looking scorecard if you're a West Indian fan, and Simmons was quite dominant at the top. Beyond that, not a lot. Goes for it. Into the gap. Nicholas Pooran is very nimble on his feet. It's another boundary.
They still have to look to score in the West Indies. When opportunities present themselves, you have to capitalize. This was short. Nicholas Pooran was able to hit it in the gap quite powerfully to get himself another boundary.
George Linder is favored bowling the right-handers as against the left-handers. When he goes straight, he contains even outside the off stump. Only 12.5 the strike rate, so he's enjoyed bowling at this style of batsman. 3 wickets for him.
Such a smart bowler as well. He uses his varieties quite well, changes in pace, also uses the crease uncomplicated action, and he tries to turn the ball. And because of his high release and delivery point, he gets that additional bounce, which has been the downfall of some of the batsmen. But a smart bowler, thinking bowler.
We've heard a few players also talk about this pitch slowing down as you go deeper into an innings. Maybe because the ball losing its shine, getting a little bit older. That was a wicket of Hetmeyer and Lendl Simmons. You can say suffocated them by restricting run scoring and eventually taking their wickets.
With the wicket of Hetmeyer, he deliberately bowled that one slow and a little bit wider to Puran, left-hander himself. He's bowling much closer, so he has identified game plans for the different batsmen. Of course, these days with all of the analysts available and all the data, you can't come up with those.
Completes an excellent spell here, George Linder. 2 for 16 from his 4. It's 87 for 4. Always reinforcing his class as a spinner, George Linder, in this format of the game. Being a reliable option for his captain. Until this one, ranked the #1 T20 bowler in the world.
4 wickets for 56 runs in 12 overs before the start of this game for Tabriz Shamsi. Man of the match performances. Did get the wicket of Karen Pollard 2 games ago.
Six bowlers used so far by Bavuma. Couple overs apiece remaining for Ngidi, Nokia, Rabada. Will feature more in the last 5, you would think.
After that first over, that travel a distance from Aidan Markram, you just felt that the West Indies might be on course for a huge score. Might be signal wide, is signal wide by the umpire, Patrick Gustard. A turn evident on this surface. West Indies have opted just for the solitary spinner in Fabian Allen, giving different players opportunities. I suppose, Darren, that's a challenge as well. When you look at the bigger picture, which of course will be that T20 World Cup, you have to balance trying to win games like these, series like these, and at the same time giving different players game time in the quest for that ultimate and optimal combination that you'll be hoping for to win you that World Cup.
Swept away, up in the air and taken. That was hitting with the wind, but he finds the fielder. Van der Dusen, the catcher, Tabriz Shamsi, the bowler, and the wicket to fall, Nicholas Pooran.
That man again, Tabriz Shamsi, just reinforcing his position as the #1 T20 bowler in the world. And not for the first time, we've seen a batsman falling in this manner. Evan Lewis previously, and now Nicholas Pooran. Excellent fielders they are. The South Africans, elation for Shamsi, and why not? Pooran departs for 16, 89 for 5 now, the West Indies.
What does Andre Russell have in store for the West Indies? Had a quick fire 23 off 12 in that first T20 international. Beyond that, not a lot. Well, to be fair, on that third T20 international, he got 25, but he's here because of this. Just I think under this one, Nicholas Pooran was trying to go all the way over the boundary. Maybe just hit the toe end of the bat and didn't get the power he wanted. He's got the power and he finds the gap. Boundary up for Andre Russell early in his innings.
Only the second delivery he's faced. Andre Russell demonstrating intent. And straight away, he picks this one, picks the gap as well. Just hitting the barrel outside the boundary. Positive start from Russell. One delivery left in the over. Can he resist the urge to go again?
Yes, Kate!
There's an attempt to these two West Indians at the crease. They settle for a single at the end of the over. 94 for 5. There's still Fabian Allen, Dwayne Bravo in this West Indies batting lineup. A lot of overs remaining in this innings. So there will be a little bit of reservation on the part of Aaron Pollard, Andre Russell. The way they try to power these few remaining overs. There's Nokia. Generally seen from Nokia in these back-end overs. There's a proclivity to bowl fuller, search for that defensive Yorker. Sometimes he goes attacking. And just test you with a few short deliveries as well.
He has options, and he's done generally well for South Africa. For the Delhi Capitals in the IPL as well. Nokia. And that's one of the options. Wide Yorker. Can also bowl the straight Yorker. Slow ball. You mentioned a short delivery. As a batsman, you're not too sure what to expect. That unpredictability. Has the third man up, fine leg up as well. So you're not really expecting a wide, fast Yorker. See Pollard just being caught at the crease there. That additional piece. The bowling for South Africa has been good throughout, apart from that opening over from Markram. Giddy has been expensive so far in the series. But the two spinners haven't they done a marvelous job.
Okay, I had the chance of bowling the penultimate over in the last match when they were defending 167. Picked up a wicket, that of Nicholas Pura, and only conceded 4 runs. Every single delivery was full. Made it very difficult for the batsmen to score.
He held his nerve really well in that game. So he'll be full of confidence. All of the South African bowlers really would be full of confidence. West Indies started off briskly. First over, 20 runs scored off it. Then there was a steady decline after the power play. Haven't managed that period particularly well. Both these teams really.
Just a single. Very good over again from Anrik Nokia. And the 15, 99 for 5.
Right, 5 overs to go now. 99 for 5 it is. Amazing to think that the first over went for 20. That's how well South Africa have bowled after that first over from Markram. Spinners have been sensational. Linda and Shamsi. Linda 2 for 16. Shamsi just the 1. And of course Norkia 1 for 21 off 3 at the moment. And let's not forget Rabada. It's always Rabada. 2 overs, 1 for 11 at this stage. And Shamsi is about to bowl his last. He was going at 4.67 to the over before today's game, and he played in the first 3. But those numbers are quite amazing, and the fact that he also hadn't conceded a boundary in the first 3 games. He's ruined that totally now because he just went for a boundary. Often it's a situation when you do tie up a batsman that the batsman then looks to strike out as best he possibly can. There's no doubt that as 100 comes on the board, by the way, there's no doubt that he's had some fun against some of these West Indies batsmen. Today it looked like Nicholas Purran that was being tied up a little bit of variation, standard left arm orthodox delivery, and Nicholas Purran trying a couple of things different, and then that one was a top edge that went straight to Rassie van der Dussen, who does not drop anything. He's a terrific professional cricketer, Rassie. Now that's a bit of an inside edge. Just the single. Oh, it's a bye. Must have gone off the gloves of Quinton de Kock.
He just 42 runs coming off 9 overs from that power play, Mike. It really shows how good the spinners have been within this middle period.
Rely on this guy. Top edge, out. That is a huge wicket. I think we can say that Tabraiz Shamsi enjoyed that. Good on him. Good stuff from Shamsi again.
Yeah, hugs just all around. Nokia and Rabada just all in the celebrations, but disappointment will be on his face, Andrew Russell. Full-length delivery that he chose to sweep. And not in control at all.
One of the best things is the fact that it's given no time to get all the way down to Nokia. Should time that sprint of Shamsi there. Brilliant stuff from Shamsi. big blow for the West Indies. Gone for just 9. Andre Russell, 101 for 6. Fabian Allen now, strike rate of 137. He's going to have to go here because 100 on the board is not enough. They've still got 4.5 overs to go. Someone needs to score some good runs, but there are 6 wickets down. That's the problem for the West Indies. Pollard at the non-strikers end is key. Lovely variation from Shamsi. Got 2 for 13, by the way, last game to Braze Shamsi. He's on 2 for 13 now in this one. Now, these are his most economical figures. And that's a dot ball. Is he going to finish up with the same figures?
I'm sure Fabian Allen is going to be happy just to leave this one, just to see this one out.
1 for 16 in the second T20, which is his best economical at that stage. And he bettered that with the third, and he's also equaled that with the second, but he's picked up 2 for 13 again. Magnificent stuff to Braze Shamsi. Absolutely superb. Really good work again from the spinners. 101 for 6. Number 1 in the world in the T20 bowling stakes. 6 wickets at an economy rate of 4.31. That is nothing short of outstanding. Nokia. Oh, that's a good old-fashioned bowler killer, that one. It's right on the knee. I hope he's okay. Wow, that is a nasty blow. Could not get out the way of that. He doesn't show pain either. Nokia does not show pain. Oh, goodness me. This is not great. Craig Govender, the physiotherapist, is screaming out to see how he's getting on, because he went down very quickly. I think that was right on the knee. I hope I'm wrong. It wasn't. He is a tough nut, Henrik Nokia. You will not see him doing this unless he is in a great deal of pain. He needs some further medical attention, I think, here. It was such a solid blow, straight back at the bowler. Then his follow through, and he had absolutely nowhere to go.
This one was firmly hit by Karen. It was smacked by Karen Pollard.
Well, that's good news. He's on his feet anyway. The Doc out there also. Well, that's very good news that he's up and at least he's flexing. The inside of the knee too. I'll just assist with a bit of the swelling initially, and free spray will take away some of the pain as well. Right, Shamsi, he has been a star. 2 for 13 his return.
Okay, getting the vital wicket of the vice captain Nicholas Pooran. And that very important wicket of Andre Russell. He celebrates because of 2 for 13 once again.
And if you add his mate, George Linder, alongside, they are great mates and they bowl so well in tandem. It's 4 for 29 between those two guys with their 8 overs. That is match-winning stuff, it really is. Hard as nails. Going to keep going. Wow, that was just bang on that inside of that knee. And Pollard, when he hits the ball aggressively, it's goes like a rocket. Good to see him running in okay. It's a good Yorker. Length from Nortje.
He's probably going to feel that one a little later on tonight. But for now, he has 4 more balls to complete.
Comes from Utenegg. There's Unrik Nortje, a bit of a shake of the head. This, let's hope he's going to be okay once he goes off the park and get some treatment for it, because I'm sure that's where he's going to be heading pretty soon. He just wants to complete this spell. Very well bowled, perfect length, you can't do much with that.
Yeah, just getting out of the way once again. Can see that he's in some sort of pain, some sort of discomfort still, but he's still carrying on. He still wants to just finish that over. 3 balls to go.
He's got the more powerful Pollard on the non-striker's end, which is got to feel a bit better for him. Low full toss, hard down the ground. Markram. A limp on now, and he really is starting to struggle here. Medical staff, there's the doctor, coach. Mark Boucher looking on concerned, both of them, as they should be, because he has just been a sensational cricketer for South Africa. Still going though. 2 balls left. Full toss, hammered away, and it has gone for 6. That's a really good shot from Pollard.
Just showing clearly that he's in some pain here, Nortje. This one just losing his line, that Yorker length, just pitching a bit too full to Kieron Pollard, who dismisses this one for 6.
It's the last ball of his spell. A slower ball on the bounce. So it's just going to be the one. It's a good work from Nortje to finish it. That's showing some good old-fashioned guts, that's for sure. Captain appreciates it. I'm sure he's going to be heading to the sidelines now, appreciated by his teammates. He hobbles off, 17 gone, 112 for 6. Off he goes, 1 for 32 with Craig Govender. And also the doctor soon after him. Bjorn Fortuin is on the park as the substitute fielder. Currently positioned sweeping on the leg side for Lungi Ngidi. 3 overs remaining now. Sliding that one down the leg side first up.
It's going to be interesting where West Indies end, what their thought process is going to be with these 3 overs coming up. 113 for 6, sorry. It's going to be interesting to see how they go about this to get to at least some kind of a total that they can defend.
Oh, it's a thick outside edge, and that's gone for 4-2. So wide off the first one, next one goes for 4. Wide outside the off stump, overcompensating with that field.
Ngidi has been quite expensive during these T20s.
I must admit, I'm a little bit bemused as to why Lungi Ngidi is bowling at the moment, because he's had a little bit of a tough time. I presume that bowling 18 and 20, because Rabada's still got 2. He should be bowling now, bowling 18 and 20, and Ngidi bowling 19. Surely.
It's a tough mistake to make by Bavuma.
You've got to make sure that your best bowler, which is when it comes to the seam, is Rabada. 2 overs, 1 for 11. He's been magnificent so far today. He's got to bowl his 4. He's not going to bowl his 4. He's going to bowl 3. He's also looking at the scoreboard.
I think he just heard you.
High, down the ground. Is it going to be taken? Through the hands, I think, of David Miller. He doesn't put too many down. Would have been a very good catch, but he'll be disappointed.
They're just almost playing a tennis shot through this one. Fabian Allen. But yeah, just going through the hands after doing all that work, covering all that ground, Miller just getting through his hands.
All the players these days, the bowlers, spend quite a bit of time looking at the various scoring areas for the batsmen, and they would know that Fabian Allen likes to go down the ground, in particular against the seam bowlers. 44% through that long on region, and also just in front of square on the leg side. 31%, so that's a big whack between square leg and long on. He likes going down the ground as well, Pollard. Or if he's given something there, it'll bring Bjorn Fortuyn into play, who's nicknamed after, or not nicknamed, his parents named him after Bjorn Borg. 18 gone, 124 for 6. On for Norkia is Bjorn. Right, 2 overs to go. And Geedy's death overs, by the way, in this series, going at nearly 13.5 per over.
Well, Kagiso Rabada is back in for his third over. But a nice little partnership building here for West Indies, 23 off 16.
Whipped away, and whipped away a long way. That's a very, very good shot. First ball, the over, that's gone for 6. Good shot from Pollard.
And they're enjoying that. Just shows the power of this man, Kyron Pollard. Just flicking this one off the hips for 6 runs.
Quinton Kock actually gave the ball to the umpire at square leg to have a look at. Don't know if it maybe went into a wet area down there outside the playing arena. Umpire said no, get on with it, whatever the story was. Another full toss. Hammered hard down the ground, and that's gone for 6 more. 12 runs off the first 2 balls of over number 19.
Missing his length, but maybe this is why Captain Bavuma opted not to let Rabada bowl 4 overs.
Goes shorter this time. This time he's picked that up and he's gone for 6 more. So there's 3. 3 have gone over. What an over this is for the West Indies and Kyron Pollard. I know what you're all thinking as well.
Can't bowl those there to Kyron Pollard. He is going to go hard at that boundary, especially as the wind is blowing across the ground. I'm sure those 6 sixes he hit in Coolidge in Antigua are going to come back. It is going to be on his mind.
Settle down, Stacey and King. Not against Kagiso Rabada. You can't do that. Here we go. Oh, it's a wide.
Well, I'm sure the pressure is not on Kyron Pollard. It will be on Kagiso Rabada. He'll be thinking a lot about what deliveries to bowl here.
Just remember, if they happen to get around the 165, 166 mark, down the ground, is that out? Miller, he's dropped it. Goodness me, David Miller, he doesn't drop those. You can sit down now, Stacey, you can sit down.
You're not fully in control of it, but David Miller just makes a meal of it. Second one he is put down.
.20 off the over. Sliced away. Going to be on the bounce and just 1. Which brings Pollard back on strike. What are your thoughts about this last ball with Pollard on strike, Stacey and King?
Rabada is bowling, so anything is possible.
145 now. 21 off the over. Last ball from Rabada. Dragged on. The onside. Markham does well initially, but then drags it on to the advertising cushion. So that's a boundary, and that is a huge over. 25 runs off over number 19. 149 for 6. See what an interesting innings this has been. Unbelievable. 20 runs off the first over, 25 runs off the last over, and there's still one to go to be bowled by Ngidi. Couldn't get it away from his body. Ngidi start the final over. Oh, that's a hard hit. And that has hit a long, long way. Goodness me, will they ever find that ball?
This shot has now brought up West Indies 150, 94 meters by Fabian Allen, just in that area that he likes to hit, as we saw in his wagon wheel earlier.
We might need to have a close look and see where this landed. There it is. David Miller still having problems. I think try number 205 there, David. Just there. That's it. You got it.
Last couple overs from the Pacers have been expensive. It'll be interesting to see where West Indies end.
All the game so far, the 167 mark has been the highest one that's had to be chased. So anything past that is virgin territory. The 6 off the first ball. Now that's going to be an extra. So third man and fine leg are both inside the circle. It's a slower delivery, so that's clever bowling from Ngidi with the fill that he's got.
Just rolling his fingers across this one.
It's protection at long on and also long off. So the bowlers will generally look to bowl the slower deliveries, mix it up quite a bit. They like to bowl Yorkers, South Africa, at this stage, the death overs. That's certainly not a Yorker, and that's been hit high and hard for 4 more runs. That's a very good shot from Fabian Allen.
Bowling a shorter length delivery at this stage.
Yeah, slow ball again, but he's dragged it down too much, and it was also too wide. It was money for jam, really. So he's got 3 balls to finish and finish strong. Can they get to the 170 mark, West Indies?
Well, they've done well to get to 160. Three balls to go, 59 runs already from this partnership.
Slow ball again. Dragged to the onside to David Miller. Which brings the ever dangerous Pollard. Temba Bavuma has just been having a bit of a chat to Ngidi about his plans. And bowling to Pollard, who's on 45 at the moment of 23 deliveries, 4 sixes in that 45. Oh, that's right out of the screws. That has gone right up on the almost top shelf. 50 runs to Kock and Pollard. This is a really, really important innings.
He needs to bat long, Kyron Pollard. He's talked a lot about cricket smarts and what is required. This one hit for 92 meters, bringing up his 50.
Quite remarkable. He's done this so many times throughout his entire career. Last ball. Very good delivery to finish. You cannot do anything with that. Pollard knows that. He's disappointed. So really good work from Kock and Pollard. 21 not out of 25 deliveries. West Indies end up with, you wouldn't believe it, 167.
Missed it. Well, there's a missed opportunity here for the West Indies to start off with a dot ball. Ends up with an overthrow. Adele Edwards missed 85 appearances in T20 internationals before he came back, most by any player. Incredible comeback for him.
Bravo. With that direct hit, just conceding one. What the West Indies will get from Fidel Edwards is a little bit of extra pace. He's kept himself quite fit. He has a slingy type action, so you can associate it with something like a Lassit Malinga. So he's a bit deceptive. Bowls with a bit of aggression as well. We'll get this new Kookaburra ball to swing away from the right-handers too, as we saw there.
Have a look at that movement. Just enough. Get past the edge. Much of a commitment in the shot by Reza Hendricks. It should be put away, but in the end they've got some protection on that boundary. So it's just the single.
Natalie, can we expect the same from South Africa in the power play overs? They've been really good. 61 for 3 in the first game, followed by 69 for 3. And their best effort, 80 for 1 in that third T20 international. Runs scored in the first 6.
I'm interested to see how South Africa breaks down their settings, because it's a different challenge. And again, a direct throw and almost another overthrow, but instead they decide against it. Well, it's so different chasing, isn't it? South Africans have probably gotten used to setting a total in this, and well, they've been consistent, you can say that. They pretty much set the same total every game, and the West Indies have even followed suit. And we've seen already in 2 of the previous games that West Indies couldn't chase down those totals. So now, how does South Africa approach this? Setting and chasing, 2 very different things. The communication's got to be good. It's got to be good. Another direct throw, this time from Bravo. I think he's made his ground, but be careful in these situations.
TV umpire to director, we have a review for run out at the bowler's end. Can you give me your best side on shot, please? Bass grounded, satisfied, ready to make my decision to the big screen.
So he's safe by a long way in the end. No worries from South Africa's point of view, but the communication's got to be good between these 2. Just confirmation of the not out. Not bad first over at all from Edwards in the series. Full toss. And in the form he's in, he's not going to miss out. It just turns the over in South Africa's favour. He has a little look at the square leg umpire, but he says it's fine. 8 without loss. So first over, 8 runs for South Africa, which is sort of very similar to what we've seen through the series. South Africa have been really good in the power plays, a lot to do with the form of Quinton de Kock. So what can Kieran Pollard do about that? Well, he's having a little smile, is Quinton de Kock at the moment. And there's a good reason why he's having a smile. Certainly be about his form, but also that little full toss that was dished up at the end of the last over. He did have a look at the square leg umpire to say maybe this was over waist high. It was close. It was very close. And here's another reason why Quinton de Kock was smiling, maybe, as Chris Gale is coming in with the ball. We've had a few surprises today with bowling changes. Oh, has he lifted the foot? That is sharp work by the keeper. Chris Gale into the attack, and he could have a big wicket. First up.
We have an umpire's review for stumping, fair delivery already established. Can we get front on spin vision first, please? Pass pretty close to the bat. Can I get Ultrell just to confirm that there's no bat involved? Standing by for Ultrell, gents. Standing by for Ultredge. Ultredge coming out. It's a flat line as the ball goes past the bat. Thank you, there's no bat involved. Can give me your best side-on shot now for the stumping. It's quite close there. Can you give me the opposite side, opposite angle, please? Sure. Q, I'm going to have a look at the stump angle. Doesn't appear to be anything behind the crease here. Thank you. I'm going to get a split screen on this, please. Just awaiting the split screen, gents. Split screen is coming up. The forward one more. Thank you. Forward. Just one more frame forward. Thank you. Bail completely removed. Nothing behind the crease. Ready to make my decision to the big screen. My decision.
He's out. We will get the confirmation. There you go. Called it a bit too early, but nonetheless, Chris Gayle was already celebrating. That's a cartwheel, not a somersault. And we saw the somersault from Kevin Sinclair. Chris Gayle with the cartwheel to celebrate a wicket off his first delivery. Some might say a master stroke from Karen Pollard. Others might say not a good shot from this guy. 2. Reza Hendrick has gone for. It's 8 for 1.
Now bring out the man there. Bring out the man there. For the ball there.
Well, Chris Gayle has picked up a wicket. First ball he bowled today. And he's managed to pick up a wicket of Hendricks. Stumped. A really good piece of stumping by Puran. Very quick with the gloves. Oh dear. Oh dear. Chris Gayle, Universe boss, has got South Africa in a spin.
Creating a few problems. A little bit of extra bounce. Bavuma probably anticipating a bit of inward turn. None on offer on that occasion.
Keep up.
This is good from the West Indies. Pressure on South Africa. They need to do that. They need to do it from early on because South Africa have been so good in this power play.
White ball or no ball?
On the leg side, so that gives South Africa the extra. But Bavuma's also got to be careful to keep that back foot in the crease.
Chris Gayle might just be bowling himself into another over.
Look at the run down the track, yeah? Look at the run down that track.
2 deliveries remaining.
On the circle 11. Right edge. Oh.
We saw Eden Markram opening the bowling for South Africa, bowling the first over. He went for 20. And Chris Gayle has picked up a wicket with his first ball and caused problems since then.
I thought that was the last one. Center.
Winston Kock now just taking his guard. Maybe also at the same time just giving South Africa chances to just breathe and take back control of this match.
First good camp here. Good camp here.
There's a nice little challenge now for Gayle as well.
Oh!
What an over for the West Indies and for Chris Gayle. 11 for 1.
Well, none of us would have anticipated this over from Chris Gayle. And even this first wicket for him off the first ball. Excellent piece of stumping by Nicholas Puran. Reza Hendricks just dragged that back leg out and didn't get it back in time. How about this for celebration? It surely needs some work. Chris, congratulations.
Thanks.
I knew you had that one because you would have looked into your crystal ball and know exactly that you'd pick up a wicket off your first delivery.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. You know my wicket taker, right? Absolutely. That's a crucial one as well. Reza Hendricks. He's a big wicket.
Chris, immediately after Fidel Edwards bowled, Karen Pollard turned to you. Is that because of what transpired in the first innings or the pitch and conditions?
Well, you know what, Bravo did mention it to me, but the captain didn't. The captain was going with Russell, and then he eventually called me. Yeah, so Bravo says he's the captain.
Oh, it's down the leg side. And it's just gone wrong for McCoy.
Here you go, McCoy.
Now, Chris,
Wait a second,
I understand that Kevin Sinclair wants to meet you after the game because you need some work on that celebration.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to work on that flick.
How would you describe that? That's a somersault? Cartwheel?
Cross? Yeah, that's a cartwheel. Well, the guys recommend for me to follow up with Sinclair celebration, so that's why I try something.
What a shot from Quinton de Kock. Short, and he's just put it away with ease.
He's a man in form. Quinton de Kock, you can't bowl a delivery like this and get away with it. Always ready for anything short and wide. Gets going once again. Already into double figures. Chris,
Yeah.
share with us what's crucial for the West Indies to go on to defend this total of 167.
I would love to get Quinton de Kock out. He's the main guy for South Africa. But we're trying to squeeze him as much in the first 6 over. That's crucial. That's key as well. So it's a very good wicket. Looks even better to bat on as well. So it's going to be a hard task, but I'm sure we can restrict them. I've done that the last 3 games, 160. So let's see if we can do it today.
Your view on Obed McCoy and how he's gone as a bowler?
He's brilliant. McCoy is brilliant. With the change-up, is crucial for us. Him and Brav with those change-ups are very good. If you can get one for us now, that would be nice, huh?
Have you faced him in the nets? Is it very difficult to face a guy with that sort of drastic variation in pace?
Absolutely, because he got a good bouncer as well. He bowled a good Yorker as well. So his change-up is very good, and you know you got to look out for a lot of variations when you're facing a bowler like Mackay. So a very handy bowler for T20 cricket. Huh?
Oh, Quinton de Kock wanted the run. Bavuma is quick. He's maybe escaped here a little bit. He has also said no to the extra run because it's come off his bat.
There was some hesitation. Bavuma was ball watching whilst his partner responded. And in the end, he had to take out the dive. Fair play to Bavuma for not taking the additional run.
It's a good comeback by McCoy after being hit for a boundary, and the wide, 19 for 1.
$19 for 1, South Africa. Chris, a wicket and just 3 runs. Why are you not bowling?
Sorry, You break up a bit there.
I said a wicket and 3 runs off your first over. Why are you not continuing that spell?
Yeah, I agree. Don't you think I deserve another one?
Hell yes.
Absolutely. I want to bowl 4 straight. Absolutely, 4 straight. Quinton can't hit my ball. Babuva can't hit my
I
ball.
reckon you need to speak with your captain, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to have a word with him. Skip. Eh?
Now, Chris, let's talk a little bit about West Indies batting. How you'd assess that performance?
Another disappointing display with the bat, to be honest with you.
Straight down the ground. He is in superb form. What a shot.
And what a welcome to Andrew Russell with the ball. This is such a good batting surface. West Indies struck 12 fours, 11 sixes. And it's South Africa's turn to get boundaries. Quinton de Kock will be crucial. His first 6.
Over the top, just enough. He follows the 6 up with the 4. This is why he is such a crucial wicket for the West Indies and important to South Africa.
And was a different delivery, just 112 kilometers per hour. Waits on it. Just bends that back leg to get under the ball. Goes over the fielder in that mid-off position.
Previous game, Andrew Russell came in and bowled the 3rd over. Quinton de Kock gave him exactly the same treatment, 6 and 4. He's now come in and bowled the 4th over. And de Kock's repeated the dose.
There is also a matchup here, Natalie. Andrew Russell, he has taken the wicket of Quinton de Kock on 5 occasions in T20 cricket.
That's the pressure that maybe he's under.
Chris,
Yeah.
a final word. If you had to offer advice to the batsmen on your team, what would that be?
Sorry, sir? Yeah. Well, the advice I'll give them to try and, when to take chances of a particular bowler.
Oh, that's just dropped short. Only just. New hearts would have been in the mouths, I reckon, in the South African dressing room.
Of course, Chris Gayle, so dominant in T20 cricket. Has an important role to play in this West Indies team. Just falling short that one of Dwayne Bravo in that mid-off position. Thanks for your time, Chris.
Yeah, we'll talk another time when I get another wicket.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
All right, cheers.
It's a good response from Russell to the right-hander. He was just getting things a bit wrong to the left-hander. This is again a good start for South Africa. The West Indies have tried a few different things to Quinton de Kock. Previous game, there's a couple of seamers that opened up. And today they tried Chris Gayle. He worked to get rid of Reeza Hendricks, but Quinton de Kock is still there. Quinton de Kock just having a little word with Themba Bavuma. He's only faced 6 deliveries so far. Just a little bit of movement in his eye line, so he's pulled out of that. At this stage, the required run rate is well in control for South Africa. It's just how they finish. Oh, what a delivery. really seemed to square him up. We've seen a bit of extra bounce at times on this wicket.
Sometimes Andrew Russell, he uses a cross-seam delivery to extract a little bit of extra bounce. Just squaring up Bavuma. Russell will be trying to pull the length back a little bit to Bavuma.
Plays that shot relatively well, but this time around it just evades the hands of Chris Gale. It's when you thought he could do just about everything. 32 for 1. It's wonderful to have crowd in. We've had a few loyal supporters come through and watch a few of the games as well. And they've been watching the man who's been in good form, Quinton de Kock. But this was now having a look at the last ball of the last over. No timing in the shot from Bavuma. It does play that shot quite well. Just didn't control it this time.
And Russell would have used that short delivery knowing fully well that Bavuma has just come to the crease, so still not sure as to the pace and bounce on this surface.
So again, Obed McCoy is going to bowl a couple of overs inside of this power play. Then in the previous game as well. Followed him, saw him go well across, and somehow he's managed to drag this from well outside the off stump and eventually for 4. And it looks like he's hurt himself as well. Oh, that's a real worry for Fabian Allen.
Well, this doesn't look good at all for Fabian Allen. Gave everything in the chase, got his hand down in time. Bavuma did well to get a lot of bat on this one. Just there, the flick took the ball over the boundary line, but that right shoulder just jarred onto the ground in an awkward sort of position.
Yeah, that looked very painful, very painful. It was such a good effort, good chase. The ball was racing away from him all the time. He put a dive in and just fell awkwardly. And that'll be a little concern from the West Indies point of view. We saw how well the South African spinners did on this surface. And he is one main spinner as well in this team today, because Fidel Edwards is in and Kevin Sinclair was left out. There'll be discussions now about the way forward here. Obviously receive some treatment, and that's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. Putting it in a sling. He's probably dislocated his shoulder, and moving it is going to be very, very painful. As soon as you see it in that position, and you know he's probably popped this out, unfortunately. I just hope it's a simple one as well, a simple dislocation. There's nothing complicated about it, that they can pop it back in and that there's no other damage. Oh, it's a really sad sight. Very, very sad to see. I wish him well, and hopefully he gets back soon.
And also for West Indian fans, because he's shown very good form with the bat. His bowling looks in order. Fabian Allen, still very young to international cricket. And he makes his way off with the physiotherapist. Of course, we're here in the Spice Isle of Grenada, an island country located in the southern end of the Grenadines island chain, known for its spices, nutmeg in particular. It's got a wonderful harbour in the capital city, Carenage Harbour. You love the beaches and it being natural. This is the island to be. A wonderful holiday destination.
Beautiful place to visit. It's my first visit to Grenada, and it's been simply wonderful. I really enjoyed it. Some great memories. Oh, that could be close. That could be close. Is he in front of the stumps? It's a slow ball. He didn't seem to pick up. Maybe a little chat between the two batters. Quinton de Kock doesn't look sure. Does he think it's worth going upstairs? Has it hit him in line? He does seem to be happy to walk off, and South Africa lose their captain.
West Indies with another wicket here. Obed McCoy with his slow delivery. Just deceiving Bavuma. Lack of pace. Got through with the shot quite early. McCoy was bang on target. Bavuma gone for 7, 36 for 2.
Aidan Markram walks to the crease because of this. McCoy left arm over the wicket into Bavuma, and it's umpire's call, so even if they went for the review, they wouldn't have lost the review, but they still would have lost the wicket. So given out on field means that Themba Bavuma would have gone no matter what, even if he went for the review. Obviously not where he would have wanted to bowl to the new batter. Aidan Markram is still new to T20 international cricket, and he's got 3 half-centuries to his name, which he made quite recently in South Africa. He's been absolutely brilliant through the series, has McCoy. Now got himself 8 wickets to his name in the series, and is leading wickets taker in the series as well. Absolutely wonderful bowling by McCoy. Still new to international cricket, and he's shown so much skill, so many variations. Tabraiz Shamsi has been economical. He's bowled well in tandem with George Linder. Bravo, as you would expect in this format, would be in amongst the wicket takers. Oh, he picked up a career best as well. McCoy in the previous game picked up 4 wickets. To do that in a T20 international in itself is a great achievement, but we're also in a bit of trouble with the West Indies, and he just held firm. So economical, 4 for just 22 runs. That was absolutely brilliant bowling, and it was used in a slightly different role as well, with a couple of overs up front and then a couple of overs towards the death. He's a real find for the West Indies. Very exciting talent. Looking forward to see how his career unfolds.
Bumble in the field, allows for the single. And just to finish on Obed McCoy, what I've really admired about him in this series is his control. He is working alongside Dwayne Bravo, and he's understanding more of the type of deliveries to use at the different stages of the innings. So it's not only about the skills that we've seen from him with the slow balls, his bouncer. That situational awareness is also brilliant.
Yes!
Finishes a good over yet again. A wicket in it. 40 for 2.
South Africa 40 Quinton Kock 24 and Aiden Duncan 2.
For 2. South Africa in pursuit of this target of 168 to take an unassailable 3-1 lead in this 5-match series. Changing bowling from the river end. Dwayne Bravo, the vastly experienced campaigner, into the attack. He's been pretty solid throughout this tournament, throughout this series rather. Picking up wickets, economical, bowling in the different stages. Given the responsibility of bowling the final over in the power play. Best returns of 3 for 25 in that last match.
And it's a really good time for him to come into the attack as well, with Markram just arriving. He's a key player. Now, Markram's the sort of bloke who likes to go after the bowling. Sometimes he doesn't quite find his tempo that he wants to play with. He makes that mistake occasionally in the Test arena also. In the T20 game, I mean, your tempo is normally you've got to get going if you can play your shots, which he can do. But sometimes he gets like really, really good 20s and gets out. He's got a situation here to really go big. Do a good job for South Africa to steer the ship.
Dwayne Bravo opting for that Yorker delivery on pace. Almost snuck through. Just getting his bat down in time. In the nick of time, Aiden Markram.
I tell you what, one thing I've noticed already is the West Indies players in between balls are going quite close to Markram, and they're encouraging Bravo, but almost in the ear of Aiden Markram, just making him aware that they're ready. They're ready to pounce in that cover region.
Really good control in Dwayne Bravo. A different challenge for the West Indies team today. They failed to chase 166 and 167 in the last 2 matches. An opportunity today to defend 168. So responsibility on the bowlers to keep this series alive. But this man on screen, Quinton de Kock, has been in sublime form. Such an integral part of this batting lineup. Can they find a way to get him dismissed? And bear in mind the West Indies have lost a bowler and Fabian Allen injured a few overs ago, so that option is no longer there. Not at the moment anyway. So someone else will have to step up. And they played just the one spinner. Kevin Sinclair made way today.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. The problem, though, or the situation, the problem South Africa have, and the situation that's good for the West Indies is that they have these guys who change their pace all the time. Bravo, McCoy now, he's been terrific. Everyone's talked about him a lot. And other bowlers like Curran if needed, but there's other guys that also change their pace. And the track definitely slows up as the game goes on. It's going to suit the West Indies style.
Got away with that one, Dwayne Bravo. You can see his gesticulation. Just needed to get it right or left of the fielder, Markram.
All those guys just buzzing around Markram just in front of square on the offside, just buzzing and chatting. Keepers up to him as well. They're all letting him know that they're encouraging the bowler, but in earshot of Markram, just applying a bit of extra pressure, realizing how important his wicket is.
Good first over from Dwayne Bravo brings the end to the power play, and the South Africans for the first time haven't been able to approach that 50 mark. 43 for 2.
supporters agencies possible. Commercial partners, CG Insurance, the title sponsors of the Windies, Sanders Resort, Betway, MasterCard, Blue Waters, the Grenada Board of Tourism, and the broadcast partner, Whisper TV.
West Indies ahead at this stage. The South Africans previously 53 for 1, 69 without loss, and 51 for 2 in the power play overs. Today has been their lowest so far. Pollard into the attack. Obviously has some overs to make up with the loss of Fabian Allen. Goes after him straight away. Does he find the gap? Fielder in the deep. Evan Lewis, it seems. A bit of work to prevent the boundary. Aidan Markram has shown intent immediately.
Yeah, they'll fancy this chance, actually. Pollard just bowled a couple in the last game. They'll fancy a chance to get after him. However, the cleverness that he does bowl with a surface that's providing a bit of assistance to the off-cutters in particular is going to suit Pollard.
It's all about building partnerships, and the Kock has been brilliant, even in the Test match series. But look at this, a bit of statistic. When he advances down the track, strike rate against the seam bowlers 192, as opposed from on the crease 98. So he likes to give himself that little momentum into the ball to get that power.
You can almost put a line in between those and literally just say there's attack blue and there's defending red. You can almost say that with the way that he plays. He doesn't go back really when he plays with the back foot. He just plays from the crease. Just a little edge or a little nudge, I should say, on the onside. Pollard is chasing.
There has been some improvement in the way they've gone about through this phase. In the last game, the South Africans, he wanted 2. He was quite keen to get that 2. Quinton de Kock, in the end, wisely sent back, although the throw was a bit off.
Really good fielding from a big man. Saving one off his own bowling and scrambling hard. Pollard as captain.
And this is what they've done well, the South Africans, in terms of limiting the number of dot balls. 28 in the first game, 27 in the second, 28 in the third. When you compare that to the West Indies, well, they had 36 in the first game, and that was only in 15 overs. Game ended quite quickly. In the second, they had 46, followed by 48, and today 42. So there are quite a few ways in which to win games, not only about hitting boundaries, but limiting those dot balls.
But they'll be concerned right now about the boundaries, South Africans. Lack of boundaries. You remember in the last game, they got 90 odd in the first 10 overs. Quinton de Kock played really nicely in the last game, 2 games ago. Got 90, ended up getting 160 odd. And they're chasing 168 to win here. And below where they would like to be. If they were to get in the 90-odd mark, they need to go at 10 over for the next 4 overs. Correction, more than that for the next 3 overs after this. The green worm is under the maroon one all the way through at this stage.
Seven runs from that Pollard over. Brings up the 50 for South Africa. 50 for 2 after 7.
So 118 they need from 78 balls. So they need to go at over 9 at this stage. So they need to pick it up a little bit. The one concern they have, and look at that bunch there, the one concern they have, they've got Rassie van der Dussen with the bat in his hand. The rest of the guys will be upstairs. You've got George Linder behind Rassie van der Dussen, the depressed captain, who's just been dismissed to the left. South Africa don't, at the moment, they haven't identified an out-and-out finisher, and that's a real problem for them. David Miller hasn't taken the opportunities he's been presented with so far in this series.
And with every dot delivery, that run rate, that required run rate, will keep climbing. And once it gets past that 10 and over mark, it's when panic sets in. So they'll want to get a boundary every over. Nicholas Pooran just reminding them of that fact.
I tell you what, I think Nicholas Pooran is doing a terrific job. He might sound a bit like a third commentator to you guys listening to us at home. But his team encouragement right now is outstanding. He's keeping everyone on their toes.
It's almost as if Dwayne Bravo is bowling in the death overs with this feel that he has and the types of deliveries that he's bowling. And even the way Markram is batting, they're looking for boundaries. They know that they need to get some impetus in this innings. They can't allow that required run rate to climb too far ahead. In the gap, finds the boundary, a much needed boundary for South Africa. Markram gets the connection.
Yeah, it wasn't a strong hit either. It wasn't out of the screws. It was a ball that deserved that sort of treatment. It was a little bit too high. It wasn't dropping as much as it normally does. Just over pitch really was the bottom line from Bravo. Identified by Markram. He will bank that and take it.
And that was the first boundary since the 5th over for South Africa. Much needed, timely. Click outside edge, will fall safely. Just a single.
So what happens when you got someone the ability of Bravo bowling at this stage. You know he's going to bowl a couple now and then he'll save a couple for the death. That's been his pattern for a long, long time. Got to try and make the most of these because he's really tough at the end when you're chasing down, say, 10 and over.
And that's where South Africa have to be smart. They have to target the other bowlers. McCoy will have 2, like you mentioned, along with Bravo at the end. They are missing Fabian Allen. So the likes of Fidel Edwards, he'll have to come back. Russell will have to bowl again, so target those bowlers and try to see how many you can get from them. But this man will have to bat deep, will have to bat down to the very end. Just have to think if South Africa will hold on this target and win this series with a game to spare.
2 overs ago, 3 runs were scored. 7 runs off the last over, which is fine from the West Indies point of view. There's only 5 off this one with now 1 ball remaining. Pressure's building here. That was Quinton de Kock saying that. What was that, he said. 55 for 2.
This includes social distancing, 6 feet or more from the next person unless they are your family member, frequent washing and sanitizing of hands. Please ensure that your mask is always correctly worn. Mask must cover your nose,
green worm trying to catch up with that maroon worm of the West Indies. 55 for 2 after 8 overs. The last ball of the previous over. Slower delivery from Dwayne Bravo. Quinton de Kock tried desperately to get something on it. He enjoyed that one, didn't he? What a shot from Markram. Got the placement that he was after along with the power and gets the boundary. First ball of the over, immediate pressure.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Suddenly the bowler's got to think big time about what he's going to do with his next delivery and his range of deliveries. It's really nicely played by Markram. No pace behind it at all, but a good strong drive on the up through the covers. It's a beautiful shot.
And the last few overs being really good for the West Indies. You just feel that something's got to give in this over. Just feel that Markram is targeting Pollard. Goes again. Fielder positioned for that shot.
Right, I've just got to go through this Quinton de Kock again. This is in real time, and just listen to what he says.
Aye! What was that?
What a character. He's an extraordinary cricketer and a very funny individual.
Very quick along the ground, Evan Lewis. Can't get two. What we've seen so far in this series has been really good fielding from both teams. Good catching, good along the ground. Just a few blemishes, but by and large, excellent fielding.
Quinton de Kock then wanted Markram to come back for the second. I think his arm was quite strong enough.
Good bowling from Pollard. 6 runs conceded so far, 2 deliveries left. It's a good comeback after that first delivery being struck for 4.
Speaking of being struck, a little bit of an update about Norkia. He's got a lot of bruising at the moment, but is expected to bat if necessary. Straight to the man deep at extra cover. Medical team will continue to observe him closely over the next day and decide the next steps. I'd imagine that's going to be a great deal of bruising. It was a nasty hit. Inside of his knee.
Certainly saved the boundary there, didn't he? Henrik Norkia. Powerfully struck by this man, Karen Pollard. Such a brutal striker of the ball. You don't want to be in the way of that when he's hit them. Dot delivery to end. Good over. Just the 7 runs coming from it. 9 overs gone. 62 for 2. Six bowlers used so far by Karen Pollard. Chris Gayle with that solitary over. I don't think that we'll see him featuring again. From the river end, Andrew Russell will continue.
Nothing in this game. West Indies was 63 for 3.
Clean them up. First delivery. Just giving himself some room there, Aidan Markram. And once he missed it, it was always going to crash into that off pole. Success for Andrew Russell immediately.
It's a difficult thing to do, to play that sort of shot when you have got a pitch and not totally trusting, and you know the bowlers are going to be changing pace from time to time. We know that he does have a quicker delivery on the Russell, and I think he enjoyed that. It was a bit of a glare back towards the batsman at the same time, just after he disturbed that furniture. Shake of the head, he got a start, he's gone for 20. 62 for 3 now.
Wicket off his first delivery. Andrew Russell brings Rassie van der Dussen into the crease. Half century in the first T20 international here in Grenada. And this is the reason why he's here. One-piece delivery from Russell on target. And more importantly, just perhaps beaten for pace. Markram expecting a slower delivery. But a good start to the over for Russell and the West Indies. Batsman to come, David Miller. We know of his capabilities. George Linder, who hasn't fired so far in this series. But they'll need these two to get a good partnership.
Van der Dussen's really important at this stage. The Cocker's down on where his score rate would normally be. We're getting it up towards the end of the 10th over. He's normally around about the 40, mid-40 mark when he's been batting around this time. Today he's only on 28. So he's down a bit. So Rassie van der Dussen, it's important that he takes a bit of pressure off the Kock at this stage, and so that he can get his flow back. He needs to get back in tune with this game, Quinton de Kock, because the last thing that they need to have happen to them, South Africa, is he throws it away.
Andrew Russell will be searching for some confidence with the ball. Wrong the wicket to the left-handed de Kock. Call is for 2. Place it well enough to get those 2, so he retains the strike. (103 from 63 deliveries now. Crowd run rate a touch under 10, 9.8. They'll need to keep up with that rate. South Africa. Smashed back past him.
Leave it if you want.
I just noticed something quite interesting with that, the first ball of the over. Correction, the ball before the last one that was hit by de Kock square on the offside. Now, it was hit towards the leg side where Rassie van der Dussen is standing at the moment. And a lot of the fielders, quite a few of the fielders, were pointing that the throw should come in on the bounce on the square. Now, there's the ball, some of the pitches that were used that were in the other games. It was fielded to the right-hand side. Some of the fielders were saying bounce it in, as Param was, and also Fidel Edwards was another one, saying bounce it off that square, off that pitch, into the keeper's gloves. And I might make it loud and clear that I have zero problem with that. This throw will be on the bounce. There we go. I have zero problem with that at all. No problem with it. So what they were saying is make it bounce on the worn pitch so that it scuffs a little bit. You might have noticed in some of these earlier games that some of the West Indies bowlers have had the ball just tailing in a little bit towards right-handed batsmen. And I think that's absolutely fine. You can do that and you're good enough to do it. And that's how you're doing it, and that's absolutely perfect as far as I'm concerned. end of that over. 7 runs from it, 10 gone, 69 for 3.
Overs completed. South Africa 69 for 3.
South Africa ahead of the West Indies at this stage of the innings, 69 for 3. The West Indies, they were 67 for 3. Pollard will know that in T20 cricket, it just takes 1 over to change the nature of things. Here he is with the ball again. What South Africa will also be mindful of is the way they've gone about batting in the last 5 overs in previous matches. First game, they achieved 46 for 2. Game number 2, 28 for 4. And the last one, 36 for 5. So they haven't even scored at 10 runs per over beyond the 15th. Required rate at the moment, 10. Afternoon, Stacey Ann King.
Afternoon, Darren.
That's good, Skippy, that's Skippy, that's good.
West Indies bowlers just changing up and using their variations. But Quinton de Kock is still there. And is he going to anchor this innings for South Africa?
Well, apart from playing the last 5 overs better than what they've done in this series, he must get a move on now. Can't wait for that to climb beyond 10. Can't do it on his own, Quinton de Kock. Oh, that's just gone through. Nicholas Pooran. Ball conceded. Welcome boundary for South Africa.
Another slower delivery. Just dropping in that dead sand area. Pollard isn't very pleased about this.
Snaked and gone. The index finger goes up. Pollard strikes. Wicket number 4 for the West Indies.
This one's well taken by Nicholas Pooran. He just early on misjudged one that dropped in front of him, but made the adjustments. Rassie van der Dusen goes for 6. South Africa 75 for 4.
So the new batsman for South Africa, David Miller.
Come on, lads, come on, lads, come on, boys, come on, boys.
She loves it at the moment. West Indian fan. Everyone will be mindful of the capacity that David Miller possesses. Pollard just working his way outside the off stump. And that persistence has worked for him and the West Indies. Wicket of Van der Dusen. David Miller has a chance to turn around his form in this series. Strikes the ball really well in T20 cricket. 140 is strike rate. This is the time for David Miller to put his hand up and partner Quinton de Kock, two of the more experienced players in this South African side. They know how to handle pressure and to address a situation with the bat.
He just worked around nicely, Quinton de Kock, for a single. 77 for 4.
South Africa still ahead, 77 for 4. Real difference in the West Indies innings was the batting of Karen Pollard. His explosive 51 from 25, unbeaten. Optimistic appeal from Nicholas Pooran.
It just seems like he played the bat into the ground. Confirmation. The West Indies know the importance of his wicket, Quinton de Kock. So Nicholas Pooran is going to appeal for everything that comes to him.
So far, so good for Andre Russell. Just working with a plan of bowling wide to Quinton de Kock with 3 sweepers through the offside. What will be the approach for David Miller? Change now. Chris Gale moves from square leg to that extra cover region. Bat making contact with the ground on that occasion. It's a good call by the umpire, Patrick Gustad. David Miller could have easily gone past Fidel Edwards in that short third-man position. Just needs to get going. Hasn't gotten going in this series with the bat yet, David Miller. Has a T20 international century to his name, so there is pedigree there. Maybe a little bit low on form. One stroke can change things around for him.
West Indies bowlers aren't making this easy for him, and they will not make it easy for him. They know that he's in a patch right now where he's not scoring as he wants to, or they know he can. Just keeping that pressure on him, just not giving him that width to play any of his shots.
And not only does David Miller have a T20 international century, it's the joint fastest in international cricket, T20 internationals. 100 of 35 deliveries, shares that record with Rohit Sharma. Brilliant stuff by Andre Russell. Just 2 runs from the over, 79 for 4. Which way will this one go? Will we have a cliffhanger? Shaping up nicely. Quinton de Kock still there. He will be an inspiration for the others to come. South Africa will pin its hopes on his form and batting. Now Karen Pollard into his fourth and final over. There is a lot of skill in his bowling as well. Take a look. Few deliveries angling into Rassie van der Dusen from way outside the off stump, and then the wicket-taking delivery going away.
An all ball on good length from Karen Pollard as he changes up his pace throughout his bowling spell.
Struck in the gap, not with a lot of power, so Hetmeyer comes around, cleans it up. A reflection on how he did go with the bat. Quite superb. He had to address a crisis when the West Indies batted. Boy, he did so in fine style, typical Karen Pollard style. 51 from 25 unbeaten with 2 fours and 5 massive sixes.
Choose the call. That's good running out by South Africa. Not the best of throws by Evan Lewis.
I'm sure Karen Pollard and the West Indies wouldn't mind this, because what they've done is restricted boundary scoring. Last 5 overs, only 2 boundaries scored, so you wouldn't be too worried about those 2 runs. There's 6 fours and a 6 in the innings. And really a continuation of what we've seen from South Africa with the bat. They haven't been as fluent with boundary scoring at the back end of the innings. Deadlock once again.
It's interesting because one would be thinking, are they going to accelerate the way West Indies did in the last 5 overs?
Tired appeal by Karen Pollard to end his spell. Exceptional in the circumstances without his spin bowler. Pollard bowls 1 for 24, 87 for 4. South Africa requiring 81 more runs to go on to win this one. Reminder as to what transpired with Fabian Allen. He was trying to save the boundary and then found himself in an awkward position. Injured his right shoulder and had to leave the field. He's still being assessed by the physio, and we understand that he will take no further part in this game. We wish him a full and speedy recovery, Fabian Allen.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough blow for West Indies. Maybe we'll see Chris Gayle being introduced again.
Not sure we'll see that, but will be Russell now again. With the injury to Fabian Allen, what the West Indies as a team has shown is the fact that they've got options, many options to turn to when bowling. Karen Pollard not been pushed into a crisis with the injury of Fabian Allen. 6 bowlers used so far. Off the middle of the bat. And just gets it over the boundary line. It was a valiant effort on the part of the substitute fielder, Hayden Walsh Jr., just out of his reach.
Yeah, a rare 6 being hit. 71 meters. A good effort by Hayden Walsh Jr.
Gets him this time. Chris Gayle not with the ball, but he takes a catch. And he strikes alongside Andre Russell. That's a massive wicket for the West Indies.
Just disappointment from David Miller. Trying to drive this one, but cannot get past Chris Gayle in that mid-wicket position. Disappointment for him. He goes for 12. South Africa 74, 94 for 5.
The incoming batsman for South Africa, George Linder.
Twice without scoring in this series, an innings of 3. Hasn't delivered with the bat for South Africa, but he's been a real success with the ball. David Miller will be looking at this replay and kicking himself because it came off the middle of the bat. He just picked Chris Gayle.
A nice short delivery to welcome George Linder.
It's been a long time since we've seen Andre Russell finish his complement of 4 overs. In his last 38 T20 internationals, he's only done so on 4 occasions. Sometimes because of injury, of course.
Just backing up too far. Nice fielding by Lendl Simmons has Quinton de Kock scampering back.
Perfect Yoko. And keeps it out.
95 for 5.
Quinton de Kock, 86, and George Linder, number 1.
Good man, Obed.
Few remaining options. Fidel Edwards. I don't think Pollard is going to go with Chris Gale. Obed McCoy has 2 overs remaining. And so too, the champion, DJ Bravo. Hit in the gap, struck firmly. That'll be 4.
A lot of pace, Fidel Edwards, but this one just too full. George Linder coming off the mark and finding 4 runs.
Well, it was a mere gift. Linda accepted it. Hasn't gotten a lot whilst batting. This just change his form around. South Africa will need him. Not a direct hit, but Linda safely in his ground. We've seen quite a few direct hits by the West Indies fielders.
Just confirmation that he's home safely, George Linder. But an important single to get Quinton de Kock on strike.
Up and over. 1 bounce into the boundary line. A welcome boundary for South Africa.
Pitched up and into the slot. De Kock enjoys this one, just short of the boundary for 6, but getting 4 runs for it.
Rare slow ball by Fidel Edwards. Picked up early by Quinton de Kock. There is a discussion. 2 senior members of this team just sharing a word of advice to Fidel Edwards. It might just prompt a change in the field. Will it? Same field. Just one sweeper through the offside, the others through the onside. I feel the plan is to encourage Quinton de Kock to hit to the leg side. There are 4 fielders on the boundary in that region, and also you're hitting into the wind, which is always very difficult The West Indies using the conditions. Goes for it. And he gets 4. Just beating the fielder, Shimron Hetmeyer. Third boundary in the over.
Yeah, big over for South Africa, but just not quite timed properly, but still getting 4 runs, beating that field backward square. Not very pleased, Fidel Edwards.
1 delivery remaining in the over, already 13 from it. Goes short. Ahmed through mid-wicket. Doesn't find the gap on this occasion, but it's a good over for South Africa. After 15, it's 109 for 5.
.59 required from 50. Here's key. Kock has been in very good form, but that doesn't really mean much at the moment. It's about what he does now. South Africa know there's not too much batting to come. So he is very, very crucial for South Africa. A lot of this is going to be on his shoulders. Yeah, I have heard that Heinrich Nokia will bat if necessary. A little bit behind the Duckworth, Lewis and Stern score as well, which is something that just gives you a bit of a gauge. I'm not too worried about the rain at the moment, but it does give you a bit of a gauge where South Africa are. So he knows how crucial it is. Hasn't quite been as free-flowing today as we've seen from him through the series, but it's still been a really wonderful contribution by Quinton de Kock.
And there has been a heavy reliance on him throughout the series, maybe too much so. Not much contributions from the other batsmen in the South African lineup. Another big shot goes up in the air. Lyndall Simmons, simple catch, completed. DJ Bravo, another wicket for him, another slow ball. And that man into the game.
Bravo is so difficult to get away at the back end of an innings, especially for batters who are just coming in, haven't spent a lot of time at the crease. He's got so much skill, so many variations. This one, 97.6 kilometers per hour. He played it so early. George Linder goes after making 6. And South Africa now 110 for 6. Kagiso Rabada walks to the crease. Now has to do something with the bat. He can bat, he's got a very good drive, his technique is generally quite sound, but questions are on how quickly he can get things moving, and also he has to give Quinton de Kock the strike. Quinton de Kock, of course, can't do this on his own. It's quite a big task. 58 needed from 28. Oh, that's just magnificent. What a way to go to a half century. so much pressure on his shoulders. And still, Quinton de Kock gets to a 50.
Consecutive half centuries for Quinton de Kock, following up that 72 in the last match. 8th T20 international half century. Really has been in sublime form throughout this tour. First in the test matches, now in the T20 international series. Accepts the applause of his teammates, but the job isn't done.
Going into the final 5 overs here, South Africa needed around 59. It's quite a lot of runs expected in this last 5 overs. Of course, a lot rests on his shoulders. What a series he has had. What a tour he's had. I'd be very happy with this tour. But the last time that South Africa got anywhere near this kind of finish, where they needed around the same amount of runs, was back in 2015 against India and Dharamshala. JP Durmani made 68 not out in that game. Ferran Biadin made 32 not out in that game. And that's really the difference for South Africa, is having those all-rounders within the side. Those all-rounders that are so handy. Biadin is a really good bowler as well from South Africa's point of view. JP Durmani was a fantastic T20 international player all round. It's been a little while since they've chased something like this in the back 5 overs. Of course, Quinton de Kock stands out in this innings. Markram got a good start. South Africa, well, at this stage they're ahead, but that West Indies worm went up very, very sharply thanks to a magnificent innings from Pollard. He'll get the strike though, Quinton de Kock. That's a good over for South Africa. Yes, there was a wicket, but runs came from it. 119 for 6. Well, South Africa ahead at this stage, but the finish by the West Indies was superb. The last 3 overs, they scored 55 runs. Pollard was magnificent. He came in the 11th over, but the acceleration came at the end when he eventually finished 51 not out. Now, Robert McCoy has got a couple of overs left. He has bowled superbly yet again. Russell and Pollard are bowled out. Expect more from Dwayne Bravo as well. Samuel, back end, this is going to be important for the West Indies too, from rotating their bowlers.
They have done well, the West Indian bowlers, in this phase of the innings in this series against South Africa. Have managed to keep the scoring rate down, thanks in the main to Obed McCoy and his exploits. Career best figures of 4 for 22 in the last match. Really has been the find of the series for West Indies. Excellent slow ball. Didn't have any clue of that one. Kagiso Rabada, exceptional talent. Just look at this delivery, back of the arm slow ball. One of the most difficult deliveries to bowl, and the control that he's demonstrated throughout. Just marginally misses the stump.
And again, and again. Rabada's got to get himself off strike, because that's 2 dot balls, and that has really put pressure on Quinton de Kock, because now they need 48 from 21. The required run rate is almost at 14. He has to get himself off strike. Oh, this is a real area of concern. Now there's an opportunity after a slight misfield. But that does mean there's only 2 balls left in the over. And that means Quinton de Kock has to get a boundary. There's no choice.
In the end, he does get the strike, Quinton de Kock. But the carbon copy deliveries, all 3. Back of the arm, slow ball. Unable to get bat on ball. You can smile a little bit, Coach Simmons. Him in a really strong position at this stage. 47 from 20.
Well, that's a gift. South Africa needed it desperately, but it is a gift from McCoy. Too often he has made mistakes in this series.
He opted for the pace on delivery this time. Obed McCoy got the reader wrong, both in line and length. De Kock was in too good a form to miss out on that one. Just helped it on its way to the boundary. He knew it immediately. As a bowler, you know when you get it wrong.
He's got to get the skates on. Oh, direct throw, which we've seen a few of them today, might have had him in trouble. 126 for 6. .42 needed from the last 3, and Quinton de Kock knew at the end of the last over that he probably needed a boundary, but went for the single to get the strike, and he would have been out. Little moments can make a big difference. Now, where does he go? He knows he's got to find someone to target in these last 3 overs, and not going to be easy to do that against Bravo. Given him a wide ball, he's chased it and he's gone. And that could be the end of the chase for South Africa. Dwayne Bravo, it's probably not the best ball he's bowled, but it's still got him a crucial breakthrough.
And that combination, once again, Dwayne Bravo, the bowler, Lindell Simmons, the catcher, and the dangerous Quinton de Kock finally departs. Important wicket for the West Indies in the context of this game. A full toss, just found the fielder. Needed to place it much better than that, Quinton de Kock. But you can't keep Dwayne Bravo out of the game. De Kock goes for another well-played 60 from 43, 126 for 7.
The incoming batsman for South Africa, the Bryce Shamsi.
Bryce Shamsi has been brilliant with the ball through the series, but now he's got to pull one out the hat with the bat. Can't see that happening, unfortunately. This was the end, really, probably of South Africa's chase. Chased a wide ball, could have left it alone, and maybe might have got an extra ball and a run added to the total. Instead, he finds himself back in the dressing room. It was a superb innings by Quinton de Kock, but when you're chasing in excess of 150, you can't rely on just one batter. Somebody else needs to contribute. Takes nothing away from Quinton de Kock's innings. But somebody else needs to also take responsibility. And this man has certainly taken responsibility right through the series. He generally does in this format. So experienced. There's still so much to offer the team. Skied it. A little bit of work here to do, but Gale makes no mistake. Dwayne Bravo looking to finish this innings off quickly.
Another slow ball, another batsman trying to go after him. Dwayne Bravo, such a master of the slow ball, especially in this situation where batsmen have to come after him. And another one who fails in that search, in that quest. Tabriz Shamsi, not known for his power hitting, played too early. Chris Gayle completes a relatively simple catch. The third wicket for Dwayne Bravo adds to his tally. Shamsi goes without scoring, 126 for 8.
Dwayne Bravo has had a very good over here. Wicket dot wicket. Lungi Ngidi has come in for South Africa at this stage, so in coming at number 10. Probably suggest that Heinrich Nokia won't be batting. This is just looking at that dismissal, another slower ball. And so far what we've seen, the likes of Linda, for example, and now Shamsi have been really outfoxed by that slower ball. It's playing so far in front of their body. It's high skill from Bravo. Good contributions all round from a bowling perspective for the West Indies. South Africa relied heavily on Quinton de Kock. Oh, he just manages to keep it out.
Continues to be very deceptive in Dwayne Bravo, but an excellent fight back by the West Indies. A crucial game for them in the context of this series being 2-1 down. They needed to put in a strong performance. They were in a spot of bother with the bat. Karen Pollard dug them out of a very deep hole with that magnificent innings, and then the bowlers have responded superbly. Just wondering what Karen Pollard would have done had he won the toss.
Skied it again. More work in the field, and will this be it? Yes, it will, and a career best for Dwayne Bravo, who's picked up 4 for 19. His previous best was back in 2015 against Sri Lanka, and now against South Africa. He's brought a fantastic spell. This is the ninth wicket to fall. And Lungi Ngidi will make his way back to the dressing room.
Another slow ball. How many times will we say that in this match? Another batsman trying to take it on, and that combination again. Simmons the catcher, Bravo the bowler. Wickets tumbling here for South Africa. Ngidi goes without scoring, 127 for 9. And 41 from 12 needed now. Game done and dusted, you would imagine. Means that it's going to be a series decider in the final on Saturday. Excellent fight back by the West Indies. Bravo has been exceptional. Look at that figure. Look at those figures. 4 for 19 in his 4 overs. Really exceptional stuff, showing his experience. Most T20 wickets in the world, Dwayne Bravo. Nokia, the new batsman.
Oh, that's nasty. Did not pick that up. Ground is completely in shadow at the moment, so I don't think he's picked that up at all. He has apologized. It is called a no ball. It would be a free hit. But he didn't pick that up at all.
It was a slow ball. He ducked into it, Rabada. was dipping as well. Very deceptive from Obed McCoy, number 11. Today, Henrik Nokia, of course, he did get a blow to his knee earlier on, so still made his way out to bat.
Free hit will just bring about the single. It does get Nokia off the mark. Ryan Bravo has had a wonderful day with the ball. And he knows how to bowl to the tail. Those slower balls are very difficult for anybody to pick up, but the tail, it's really difficult. And the fielding has backed him up. A career best for Ryan Bravo. The slower ball.
I was just making the point a little bit earlier about the toss and what Karen Pollard would have done had he won. He usually tends to chase, but this will give him some information as to the capabilities of this team and defending, and perhaps give him some more confidence in trying to do that in T20 cricket, especially in day games. These games that have these 2 p.m. start, pitches generally will get slower batting second. The statistics will show that 3 of the 4 games before this have been won by the team batting first. This will be 4 from 5. Bat first win here at Grenada. So he was forced to bat first today. I'm not too sure what he would have done had he won.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we didn't have a lot of information on this ground in terms of international cricket. But we did have a few games having been played here domestically, and actually it seemed to be a good chasing ground. But what the series has shown us is that it's been more about the team batting first. It was a brilliant chase by the West Indies in the first game. It was comprehensive. Plenty time left. But then since then it's changed. Straight down the ground by Kagiso Rabada. Well, he got a good piece of that.
A monumental blow from Rabada. Picked that slow ball very well. And didn't he enjoy that one? Absolutely smashed back past the bowler into the top tier here at the Darbo Road end in this stadium. Ducking for cover. That was some hit from Kagiso Rabada.
He was trying to hide his smile earlier, and then he just couldn't. The smile just eventually came out. Just have to get the sanitizer wipes out as part of the new protocols.
So anyone who's outside of the bubble and once they make contact with the ball, it has to be sanitized. In this case, it was a spectator, perhaps someone who works at the venue. So just to make sure that that protocol is in fact followed, we're all set to resume.
It's a wonderful hit from Kagiso Rabada. How much more is in the tank? Oh, he knows he's missed out. There was an opportunity for another boundary. Ends the over, 138 for 9. Just 1 over to go, but a lot of runs from South Africa's point of view. 30 needed in this last over, and they've already lost 9 wickets. Fidel Edwards has got 2 overs to go. Chris Gale has got 3 overs in the bank. Where are the West Indies going to go? They've bowled through McCoy, Russell, Bravo and Pollard. So, with an over to go, they're going to Chris Gale.
One of the things that these games provide is an opportunity to test your players with that bigger picture in mind, and that bigger picture is the World Cup. You want to give players opportunities in different positions. I would think that someone like Fidel Edwards would have been given this final over. I don't know if it has something to do with time and over rate. So many things to consider, but certainly bigger picture in mind.
Well, Chris Gale. It was a dead ball because Kagiso Rabada wasn't ready. That's why he's having a look around. But Kagiso Rabada has come in for some tap when Chris Gale has had bat in hand. And the reply. Sure, he'll be keen to. He's hit that straight down the ground for 4.
Almost smashed it straight back at Chris Gale. He tried to catch it, but it went through his hands even before he knew it.
Straight through the line of the ball. It's high enough over his head. Nokia also wants to get in on the fun at the end.
Final delivery. 23 from 1. West Indies have leveled the series. This man has been brilliant with the bat.
Down the ground again, and it'll just be a single to end this 4th game. And it's been a great comeback by the West Indies. They lost back-to-back games and now find themselves in a situation where they can still win the series.